First off, I want to open up by saying our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Coach Hayden Fry. You know, he's been incredibly influential in the coaching community, and he will definitely be missed. And so he was a great mentor to some of my coaches who got me into this profession. So definitely want to say that. On this class, man, I know UNT got better today. The Mean Green got much better. We were able to target a lot of different positions and needs, and feel like we have not only an unbelievable class full of great athletes, but unbelievable class of great guys with great character, and just a great group to be around. I've had a lot of fun recruiting these dudes, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to coach them. I want to thank all the families I ever recruit that we came in contact with, allowing us in their homes, opening up their families to us, and letting us be a part of their lives has been awesome. And you always, gain those relationships, and which is huge. And by them opening up their homes and who they are has been awesome to see. So I really appreciate those families. I want to thank the high school coaches who have helped us in the process. You know, the receptions has been getting better every single year. The relationships that we're able to build with these men has been great, and has continued to allow us to improve every year and continue to grow and have success recruiting. And we're always going to go through that head high school coach. We're always going to build those relationships with that. I think it's important. And for them to trust us with their young men means a lot to me. And again, continuing to build those relationships down the road will be important, because without recruiting, without the lifeblood of those guys coming in and making your program better every single year, that's what it's all about. You're not going to be a very good football team if you don't have great players, and so I really appreciate those men. And I also want to thank our staff, the tireless work they put in, grinding on the road, building those relationships with those coaches, turning every stone, trying to find every guy, and then building those relationships. It's a grind, but I want to thank them for the hard work they put in. They deserve all the credit. Because how much work they put into it. And so I want to thank them and their families, their wives, their children. They make a great sacrifice in order to help this university and this football program become great. And so really appreciate those guys. And with that, I'll open it up.
Was there any specific emphasis going into this, or was it just continuing to grow off of what you all built?
Well, you're going to have needs, at different positions every year. I think overall, we had some needs at each and every position, but obviously, I think we signed. We signed 5 offensive linemen, which continues to be big. We got to continue to build depth at that position. We got thin at times this past year, and so we're always trying to get bigger and stronger and faster up front. I think that's where it starts up front on both sides of the ball. And some of the needs defensively started up front with 3 D linemen there, and so. It was a great start. Obviously, this is the early sign-up period, so this is just the beginning. We have a few left over here we can play with and try to figure out from here where we need to get guys in. But I feel like it was a really good job, a really good start up front. And then, getting a couple tight ends. Our depth hadn't been. It's been thin at that position as well, and so being able to get a couple more tight ends here, along with Pirtle and Asher, having redshirt a year, I think will really help us and help us in the run game. 4 DBs, those safeties and corners. Again, we're always, adding depth and being more explosive. And so I think overall, I think we added, a lot of great players in this class, and that met some of our needs. And at the end of it, we have a few left over to play with for our next signing day in February.
You filled last year. You filled all your signees in the early signing period. Was it a different approach this year, or what changed this year?
Well, I think down the stretch, you're always fighting to make sure that you're getting the guys that fit your program, and you're not going to always go 100%. But at the same time, I always like to hold a couple over if I can. There's always going to be guys out there that are going to be dudes, and whether it's in high school, you find a lot of gyms out there that after this signing date, that could have waited, weren't comfortable where they were at in the recruiting process. There's guys out there yet to be evaluated that they're unbelievable high school football players. We found them every year, and then also with the transfers the way they are in the JCs, some of the mid years, and now it's kind of the May enrollees in the junior colleges. Just continuing to make sure you evaluate everything and try to get the best players that fit your program in here.
Yeah, you got a lot of these guys committed early. Did the early work pay off and kind of building the foundation?
I think it always does. I mean, because again, it comes down to relationships with me. The more you can build that relationship with a student athlete and their family and their whole family. I mean, a lot of these guys, they've been on campus many times. We've. It's almost gotten to the point this year to where, on that last weekend, we try to bring everybody together on the same weekend and get their families around each other, let the recruits go out and hang together. Everybody's kind of going through the same things. And then most years you have that exit meeting, making sure there's no final questions, and we do that with every guy that comes in. And it got to the point to where there's no more questions. We've been recruiting these guys a long time. And so it always makes it easier, and when those relationships are built that way, when you're fighting down the stretch, when some other things could pop up and other schools are taking an interest in your guys, I think that relationship's key in order to making sure you're holding them.
Did the tough season hurt? You guys didn't maybe do what you wanted to do during the season. Did that hurt? Were you guys able to just
it didn't hurt in the recruiting aspect of it. The reception's still been there. Everybody's been really positive and great. Everybody understands what North Texas has to offer. They understand that we're going to have a great coaching staff. We got a great administration that gives us resources to be successful. It's a great school, great environment, and so in that aspect, no. The only thing that hurt is it hurts us when we don't have the success we want to have. But overall, the guys that we've signed have been unbelievable, and I can't wait to coach them.
You were able to bring in Gray and McCray from junior colleges. Just what did you see in them, and what was it like bringing them in?
Well, you get two guys that are a little bit more developed, a little bit more experience. Have a little bit maturity to them in the development, and so hopefully those guys can come in and make big-time plays for us. That's why you're getting those guys. You're getting a guy that is hopefully going to come in here ready to play. Like I tell all our guys, you have to come in and earn everything you get. Everybody has to compete. Everybody has to earn their job, whether you're a freshman, senior, full scholarship, or walk-on. That's what we do. No one's got anything locked up. But I feel really good about both those men being able to come in here and with their mindset, with their attitude on, what they're looking for. I think they have a great opportunity to come in here and help us.
You guys need some impact from this class. You really need some of these guys to contribute right away. Yeah,
I think. You're always. There's definitely some areas that we need guys to step up and being able to help us. But at the same time, I feel good about our base. I feel good about where we're at. I think we've put together some good years of recruiting. We have a lot of young guys still, even this past year, that made a lot of plays for us. Even though we lost some great players, I still feel like we're fairly young in some of those areas because of all the young guys we have played. And so, I think each position's different. Each depth of each position's a little bit different. And, hopefully, as we get through this spring, we got to stay healthy. We need everybody there in the fall, and we got to stay a lot healthier this fall. But if you had the injuries that we had this past fall, everybody, all hands on deck, because we needed them all just to get through the practice in order to get ready for a game. So. But I do feel like there's a lot of guys in this class that will come in and have an opportunity to do big-time things for us.
You lost Stout late. You added Stout late. You lost a couple of guys late. Is that just the nature of recruiting these days, that you're going to see some
every year there's going to be some different things that go on, and it's part of the business. We have to do what's best for our universities, and these young men have to do what's best for them and their future. I tell these guys, it's the one time in your life you have to make a selfish decision for you, because you're the one who's going to have to go through it and put in all the work. And so, he's been, committed to us for a little bit. We haven't put it out there yet. He was kind of waiting on some things, but I think he's a unbelievable player. Really excited. Can't wait to watch him this weekend playing in the state championship game, and it'll be a lot of fun.
You mentioned fighting the whole way to keep these guys, to have such a good recruiting class. Just talk about the challenges that you faced this year compared to years past, or if anything new, and just going through it.
Nothing new popped up. Every year you're unique. You're going to have challenges every year in recruiting. It's recruiting. People are battling. Guys come in late. We're going in on guys late. I mean, it's a free-for-all at the end. And again, I think that's where it comes back to your coaches and myself as the head coach, making sure that we build the right relationships with not only the kids, their families, their coaches, in order to make sure that you're in a good position come signing day. Again, that's when it's all said and done, that's what it's going to come down to most of the time. Sometimes it's they just get that one opportunity that they can't turn down. That's part of it. And but each situation is unique, and again, I feel good about the relationships we built within this class in order to what I feel like is a really good class.
How many do you have left? You mentioned you have a few left. Do you have an idea of?
I always got a few up my sleeve, right? You always a few. We probably got about 4 left. And always depending on, and then again, keep grinding it, and you never know. Maybe one pop up here in the next couple of days. Maybe a few pop up in February. And if you don't get the right guys, because it's all based upon what your needs are. If you don't get the guys that you feel like are fit you in February, you still got a long time till July. Just with all the different in college football now, with all the different things that are going on, there's guys out there, guys looking all the time, and so you just got to be patient and make sure you find the right fits. Make sure you find the right guys that fit you, not only great players, but fit your program. I think that's important. And so, go ahead.
You kept a lot of your position coaches. Just what did you see the work that they were able to do to keep these relationships? Because a lot of these guys committed in April.
Grind. I mean, they do. They've done a good job. Again, beating the bushes, getting on the road, and getting with the coaches, the families. They put in a lot of work. It's not a lot of phone calls, a lot of communication. I think it's knowing people in the community. There's a lot that goes into it, and it comes down to how hard you're going to work for it. Every coach, and that's recruiting. If you're going to be a great recruiter, you gotta grind at it every single day. And it doesn't just leave or go away when you leave the office. Your family has to make a lot of sacrifices because not only are you out working and coaching and trying to win football games, it doesn't end at the office. You take some of that home. At times you have to tuck your kids to bed, and you may be having dinner with your wife, and when that recruit calls, you got to step away, and that's part of it. And so they make a lot of sacrifices, and that's every coach in the country, though. And so, but I'm really proud of the work they put into it.
You anticipate all these guys qualifying?
Yes.
And you went through this whole process without coordinators. Was that a challenge? Considering you might be changing defensive systems, there's a little bit of question there. Was that a challenge as you go out there?
Yeah, it wasn't as big as a challenge as I thought. I mean, offensively, obviously, it's. I think as an offensive head coach, I think everybody has a pretty good idea about who I am and what type of situation they're coming into, and so offensively, it probably is more of a challenge defensively, just because I'm an offensive head coach. What system, what style, whatever. But again, I think it still comes down to, you're selling what an unbelievable place this is. You're going to be around great coaches, great mentors. You're going to be around a coach that cares about you. That's going to help you make sure that you reach all your goals and aspirations in life. And again, you build those relationships. Football's football, So I feel really good about where we're at, and I can tell you this right now, all these guys that we have in this class will fit our system really, really good.
Where do you stand as far as getting a couple?
I was waiting when you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, you knew I was going to ask that.
Absolutely. We're close. Yeah, we're close. We'll see kind of here in the next couple of weeks, but I feel good about where we're at.
That's awesome. Good.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.